Hi guys, welcome to TV Movie Mistress. As always, I'm your host Mo. Welcome to my review, thoughts, whatever you want to call it, on the Yin-Yang Master and the Yin-Yang Master, Dream of Eternity. These are two Chinese movies that are both currently airing on Netflix, and I just sort of wanted to, like I said, share my thoughts and definitely tell you which one I like better, and encourage you guys to watch whichever one you prefer. But yeah, the Yin-Yang Masters. Okay, so what is the Yin-Yang Master? So the Yin-Yang Master is a movie that was initially based on a book that came out in 2001. Now, off of that book, we have also had we've also, guys, my brain is just done. We've also had a game spin-off from it, and now we have these two extremely big budget movies. Like, I wasn't able to find the exact budget for these movies, but minimum $200 million each, minimum, because between the CGI, the acting name, it seems these were definitely supposed to be summer movies, and then COVID. So I know in China it definitely was still released. I know for certain Dream of Eternity was released on Christmas in China. I can't say for sure on the Chen version, but needless to say, I saw these both on Netflix. Like I said, again, this is a 2001 novel, and just so I don't butcher it again, I have it written down. It's by Baku Yomemakura. Forgive me. But again, initially called Omyoji. And Omyojis are these spirit masters, spirit guardians. They basically defend the earth from impending doom. Look, I love Chinese dramas because my friends are always why are you always watching them? Because it's a fucking Marvel movie every day of the week if I choose it. I love it. Come on. Okay, so Omyoji. Like I said, initially a book, became a film, also a video game, now two new blockbuster movies by two different Chinese studios. And the first one, again, like I said, that came out was Chen and Mark Chao and Deng. That's the first two. That's our first pair. Second pair is Chen. Love him, my baby. Just the casting in this, again, well, first time I'm saying this, but the casting in this is fantastic. That much I will say. So let's start off with Mark Chao's version first. Mark Chao's version, again, like I said, stars him and Deng. You might have seen Deng in Ashes of Love. Why can't I remember anything else? He did a couple of contemporaries. I can't remember any other name of any other, but he's a good actor and he's rising and so on and so forth. Mark Chao has been in the game for forever. He is the reason why I started he is the reason why I added Asian dramas to my podcast. If you don't know, check out my podcast, TV Movie Mistress. It's on all the platforms. I review television, movies, music. So Mark Chao, 10 Miles of Peach Blossom, just bae. Love him. So this initial pairing is just fantastic, and of course they have a well-rounded ensemble cast. I'm not gonna put any of that against them, but here's the problem with Mark Chao's Yin-Yang Master, the director Guo Jiming. Now, I have limited information on this, but it's all basically facts. Guo Jiming, years and years ago, over a decade, maybe even 2 decades, was sued for plagiarism, and the courts were you're guilty, pay and apologize. He paid and he never apologized, and he just went on living his life, making money, making movies, being invited places, just living life without consequences. And this sort of became a thing because people were like, can't do that. You were ordered to apologize. You should apologize. And again, he never did until all of a sudden, like this past December, a letter came out. I think like all of the writers like get banded together and they were like, yeah, you need to apologize. If not, like the entire like Federation, union, whatever, will no longer work on any of your projects. Or so. It was a strongly worded threat. And then it was taken off of, like, was it taken off? It was taken out of the theaters, which money. And then all of a sudden, I believe it was like the day before, was it Jen? I don't know, by the end of the year, by the end of 2020, which seems like 50 years ago now, he apologized. It just took the strong arming of an entire group of people and the threat of this blockbuster movie being pulled from theaters for this man to apologize. But yeah, and so he's just sort of, he's incurred a reputation as someone who, again, like I said, he was sued for plagiarism. So that's a thing he does. And even aspects of this movie, people were saying scenes were stolen from Doctor Strange. I saw Doctor Strange when it came out in the movies. I don't remember anything much, but the people who remember and have better memories than me found the proof. So again, this director, like it's like he makes good movies that makes you feel good, but it's from a person with questionable morals. And he's been in the business for so long, he's able to get stars like Mark Chow, stars like Deng to sign on to his projects. But either way, I'm just happy he finally apologized because, dude, that was hella disrespectful. Like, no. Okay, so that's some behind the scenes stuff. Let's jump into the movie. So both of them are about Onmyoji Masters, and Onmyoji Masters essentially are these guardians, these masters that are around cultivating hella strong. And there's this demon that they always have to, I'm so jittery. There's this demon that they always have to like come out of like retirement to come and save the world from. So that's what at the heart of this, both movies will deal with. It's these Onmyoji Masters teaming up and saving the world. That is like blanket. And the CGI proves it. I'll tell you that much. That's, like I said earlier, minimum 200 million. There is no way this is not minimum 200 million. Now, a little bit of the differences. Like I said, you've got one version starring Mark Chao and Deng, and you've got the other version starring Chen. And I am a savage for not remembering this beautiful actress's name. Chen? Okay, yeah, I was not gonna let that stand. So Chen-kun's version also stars the beautiful, the wonderful Zhou. Like, she is a veteran on her game. They've been acting together for like years. They have amazing chemistry. And again, they're both at the top of their game. So for me, both version, again, overall ensemble team, great. Cinematography, great. From here, I'm gonna sort of try and sort of, I guess, this is the point I'm gonna try and like flesh out the differences between these two. So with Chen-kun's version, you have him being the Onmyoji Master, and he's a demon. He's half demon, which in this world, people, in all worlds, people are very anti-demons. But he's a good demon. He is just like trying to live his life. And we find out he's been expelled from his sect, SECTS. which, if you don't know, sects are basically guilds, cultivation guilds, put it that way. And he has been expelled from his guild, we find out, because supposedly everybody all of a sudden thinks he's a bad guy and like killed one of like his his fellow disciples, so he's been expelled. But throughout the movie, you basically find out he's been framed. Xiao Jun plays another disciple friend of his, and you get these beautiful flashbacks of when they were kids, and him being a demon, of course, he's like trying to like live the most pure life possible. But we do see in their relationship like genuine love for each other. And she ties a string. They basically friendship bracelets and basically swearing devotion to each other. Flash forward, shit goes down. The entire sect is like, you're evil. So, you know, he just starts living on his own, grows older, grows sexier, as Chen Kun does, but still preparing to save the world, even though everybody thinks he's a bad guy. The movie, Jesus Christ, I'm so used to shows. The movie goes left for me when they don't utilize Chen Kun and Xiao Jun enough. Like, for me, those are the leads, give them all the time. And every time they were on screen, it was lovely, 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 beautiful sizzle, chemistry, lines, acting, smirking. It was just like everything. But then like they weren't on screen. Like they'd be on screen for 5 minutes and then they wouldn't be on screen for like 6 minutes. And yes, they were doing good world building. And it's not like we were getting bad acting from the other actors, but give me the steak, give me the lobster. Like, I know who I came for. And that for me is the first difference between Chen Kun's the Yin-Yang Master and Mark Chow's the Yin-Yang Master. And we'll, you know, get into that in a bit as well. Okay, so like I'm saying, Chen Kun's version also starred Shen Yu, William Chan. No, I love me some William Chan. But again, William Chan, we see him like 2 minutes in the beginning, and spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, he comes back at the end as the bad guy. It was very predictable. I saw it coming. I was like, of course he's the bad guy. Who else would it be? I didn't really love the graphics of like his demon, but it's really weird to like make this demon be a CGI and I guess look at it on my shitty TV, I guess. How did that work for you guys? Again, I have my TV's like 5-6 years old. It's good. It's a smart TV, but I think it was like second generation smart TV. But I did not like the look of William Chan's monster. I did not like the fact that at one point Xiao Jun is just off screen completely. Like when she comes back, I'm like, oh shit, she wasn't dead. Like that's not good. That's not good, guys. So what else? So yeah, so like the lead actor is not getting screen time, and then the worst fucking character of all getting the screen time. I hate this character. In the Chen Kun version, Boya is an ass, he's an idiot, he's entitled, he's stupid, he knows absolutely nothing, he repeatedly fucks up, and yet comes out on top. Oh, I'll stop with the spoilers at this point, but he comes out on top. How, sir? And I think at one point, at the end, he says, spoiler alert, I don't know how I got here. Done. But like, I hate him. I hate this character with a genuine passion. A genuine passion. Like, he ruined the taste of this movie for me. He just, And the fact that then see, I should not come away with this with hate in my heart for Boya. And again, when I get into the Mark Chow's version, you will find out why. So let me see who else. So I like the world they were building in the Chen Kun version. We get like to find out more about like normal folks, what's going on out there. Overall though, Chen Kun's The Yin-Yang Master felt more like a family movie. And I think that is exactly what it is. It is a family movie. And not to say Mark Chow and Deng version is not, and I'll get into that in a second, but the Yin-Yang Master Chen edition, even though it has edges, it doesn't have claws. I don't know if that makes sense, but that sounds right. So, the Yin-Yang Master, Dream of Eternity, Mark Chow version. I don't know why I just did that, but let me continue with what I loved about Mark Chow's version, and you're going to see the differences. So, one, we get a ton more time between the leads in this movie. The Yin-Yang Master Dream of Eternity, it felt like a single shot throughout. As opposed to Chen Kun's version, it felt like, oh, here's this puzzle for this part, here's this puzzle for that part, here's this puzzle for this part. With Mark Chow's version, it just felt seamless. Like, and it built. The first 10 minutes is a little bit like, what's going on? But as soon as these two meet and lock eyes, it is perfection. I went into this not expecting a BL, but it is absolutely a BL, and they just slid it in there at the end of the year. I was like, oh, there, I fucking got it. I'm here for this. That is how hot their charisma is. I don't know why I'm blushing, but I'm really not. But yeah, so we have the charisma between them. So Chen Kun, Zhao Jun, chemistry's there, but we don't have enough time with them. Mark Chow, Deng, we get all the time with them. We see them build their relationship. We see Boya in this one, even though he's impetuous, he's smart. He's just wants to do shit now. And Chen Kun is more Mark Chow is more take your time, let's relax, what is the rush, we'll figure shit out. And again, even though Boya is very much let's go now, he would still get results. He would just get results expending more energy. The Boya and Chen Kun's Yin-Yang Master, fuck that dude. Again, like I said, every decision he made was wrong. He never acknowledged it in any way. I think but people just kept letting him get away with shit. He's basically in the Chen Kun version, Boya is basically his Shen Yu plays this orphan Annie girl who is one of the many people that follows Chen Kun around. Ching Min, I should probably call them by their character's name, but I have to differentiate with the actor's name. But in Chen Kun's version, Ching Min has a follower, and that follower is basically who was paired with Boya. So Deng and Mark Chow together throughout. Boya and Chen Kun, nuts. No. And then the person who should be his lead, Zhao Jun with Chen Kun, they don't have enough time together. So I don't know. It's very off. Let's see what else. The music, I definitely do like. It's more of a despondent, piano keys, break your heart but uplift you at the same time. There was a lot of action with Chen Kun's. Again, action and no, I take that back. Reverse it. More action in Mark Chow. And I'm gonna also tell you why. Spiritual weapons and just weapons on a whole. So this is a fantasy world. They have weapons. They have swords. So Mark Chow's, I love Mark Chow. Mark Chow's magical weapon is a fan. And oh, perfect. I have my fan right there. Bam. A nice simple fan like this. He uses this to cut, kill, slice, dice, whichever way you want to rack it. And again, this is the kind of world where people have electric guitars, not electric guitars, but ancient string instruments, just different things that are not sword. Like maybe a stick can be like your weapon of choice. It'll kill someone, but it's not a sword. This would be my magical weapon. If you don't, this is one of those things. It's basically like a nail decoration. And back in Imperial China, the noblewoman, Imperial court would wear it, because if you're wearing this, obviously you have, if you're wearing this every day to get through your day, you have like a maid. So it was like a show of wealth, because that meant you had someone doing shit for you, because you cannot, because you don't have hands. Because they're pretty. This would be my weapon of choice. It would kill though, like I said. Maybe it would extend, maybe it would just go through, I don't know. But again, just to explain this world. In the Chen Kun's version, it's just more, a lot more plotting, a lot more talking, not as much fighting. Now, both are, of course, fantasy, action-driven, supernatural. It gives you a nice surprise throughout. But I'm not going to say there's anything revolutionary in the plot, but it is a fun time. Trying to see what else. I feel like I was planning on talking way more about Mark Chow's version, because I just love Mark Chow. But yeah, I was still very shocked about the fact of how very BL-heavy this felt. And if you don't know what BL is, it's boys love. So basically like gay guys. But because you can't really, that's not a thing in China, we just get a lot of eye fucking. And again, thank you. But fucking, I hate Goji Ming. I hate people like that. I'm part of the problem. I acknowledge it, it's fine. I'm trying to see. So of course, while we have both of these things happening, we have the monster. We've got the bad guy. We've got sacrifice. In Mark Chow's version, like, people will die. People are shady. People you thought, like, that's also a theme in both ones, right? You've got the demons, you've got people you think you can trust, and you cannot. So before I wrap up and tell you guys my recommendation, in case you can't tell by now, just some interesting stats. On IMDb, both these movies are both like a 6.4. On Rotten Tomatoes, Mark Chow's version is like 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, but through Rotten Tomatoes. But Chen Kun's version is like 89%, which is interesting. And then you've got on my drama list, Chen Kun's version is 8.5, and on my drama list, Mark Chow's version is 8.5, and Chen Kun's version is 7.4. So it's pretty consistent on IMDb. Very divergent on Rotten Tomatoes. And my drama list is kind of like even. And I feel like it's because the people on my drama list might be more the audience that always watches Chinese drama, so they kind of know what they're going in for. But I've got, you know what? I know Mark Chow's version has a 29%. What would you mean? Like I said, he's a bad apple. People will like vote his shit down to like trash. And I feel bad for the people who like work on the project, right? Because for some people, a check is just a check. Some people, a job is just a job. Of course, that doesn't apply to like the bigger stars like Mark Chow, but I'm gonna check that out, and I'm sure that's gonna be what it is. But yeah, that's it. I enjoyed both. I am recommending the Yin-Yang Master, Dream of Eternity, starring Mark Chow and Deng, just because it was just more fun. I liked the story more. I appreciated the fact that we got to spend more time with the leads, even though they were still creating the world and they had side characters. They knew who we wanted to see. And for me, that was the leads. But we still got enough of the story to figure out where it was going. And both had really good quotes, but I'm going to end this, what was supposed to be a very short review, but hopefully I'll edit it and it's not as long as what it is that I've recorded. But I'm going to end and I'm going to have to look down at my notes. And this is a quote from Ching Min's master. And he says, grief and joy, partings and meetings, life and death. You'll face them all in this brief flash of life. But in this life, I have loved and I have been loved. That is enough. And that's a nice little quote. It's very cheesy. It's very tropey, I know, but I like it. So thank you guys very much for listening. If you are not a subscriber, please go ahead and hit subscribe. If you're not a listener of the podcast, go ahead and check out TV Movie Mistress. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, basically anywhere podcasts are. Just type in TV Movie Mistress. I think that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening, and we'll hopefully do this again soon.